Hello travelers, how crazy do I look? I look pretty nutso, but that's because it is Saturday afternoon and I, as we will find out later, have much to share with you about not caring about little details. One of which being, do I look uber professional all the time, like a neurotic? What we do have for you today is, I think there are books in some of these, but I don't think that there are books in all of them. We're going to start with unboxing, and then I'm going to give you guys an update on what has been going on with me and what you can expect from the channel. So, I don't think this is going to be books. This one oriented tall like this is almost assuredly not books. But we can try. Totally not books. There might not be. I got some t-shirts. I got some protein. And I got tea. Actually, I've been desperate for this tea. Not having this instant tea has dramatically influenced how my afternoons and evenings go and my optimal level of hydration. Yeah, this is a big deal. That's a big win for me. Big win. Okay, so books are in here then. I think there are only two. As you'll find out, my August reading has not gone quite as well as I would hope, but that doesn't mean that I didn't need more books. I'm also pulling some of my books off my shelf, so needing those is not as big a deal. Oh, you're gonna love this. I'm gonna open this. It is beautiful. It is a decoration. I'm hanging that up. That's omega-3s, some more shirts. This is a mic stand. 2 turntables and a microphone. This isn't a microphone, but it's a mic stand. So I'm gonna set this up. The other mic stand that I have is attached to this really wobbly table. And what do I want to talk about first? We'll talk about this one because it is gorgeous and I'm excited. The mic stand that I have downstairs is supposed to attach to a desk, and the desk that I have doesn't actually do that. So I need a new mic stand because I had this really wobbly like half table set up. I'm going to change that. It'll be good to go. But there are 2 books in here, both fantasy books. And the first is going to be Malice. And I bought this book for the cover. One, I didn't just buy it for the cover, but I bought it for the cover. I know nothing about it, but I do know that it is everywhere I've been looking. I've been seeing ads for this. All of the authors that I follow on Amazon all are associated with John Gwynne? I'm not sure exactly how to say that, but I see the author everywhere, and that cover is just gorgeous. Look at that. That's beautiful. The spine, too. Oh, come on. So, we're going to check this out. It's also one of those BFFs that I absolutely adore, so we're going to read me a big fat fantasy, and we're going to talk about it. The second one is also fantasy, but not a big fat fantasy. I would say this is more like a medium fat fantasy. I have The Lies of Locke Lamora. I have never read the Gentleman Bastard series, but Daniel Green talks about it a lot, and I have seen it in any number of lists of top fantasy series over the last few years, and so we're gonna start it and check it out. Those are the 2 books that I have for you. I will see you at the next part, where I actually am gonna change and make myself a little presentable because I need to do that for the day. But yeah, we will see you then. Kiki, are you excited for this? Do you want this? What is this? I'm excited for this. Do you know what this is? Ladies and gentlemen, Keone. This is the loud dog that everyone hears in the background all the time. Like that. What perfect timing. If you're gonna bark, at least go downstairs and see who it is. And there she goes. So I'm excited for this. We forgot to open this. We forgot to talk about this, but I shouldn't bend it, which I'm not going to bend it, but there are little pull tabs here at the back. So I'm pretty excited about. I got this. I'm redoing my library. I'm painting and doing built-in shelves, and I saw this as I was buying books and absolutely could not get it because it is so funny. It says attempted murder. Come on. That's so funny. It's because it's crows and there's two of them. They're not quite there. They're attempting. Okay. Oh, shoot me. If you don't like puns, you're going to need to leave right now because I do. I do like not egregious puns, but that's pretty funny. So, anyways, we will meet you back downstairs. I haven't moved out the library and done a bunch of stuff, so we can still record in there until I fully start doing that. And then I will probably do a couple of weeks where I record here. But, see you in a minute. So, here I am. It's much later in the day. I think when I recorded this morning, it was probably like just before noon. Yeah, I sort of like ate breakfast or ate lunch shortly thereafter that. I've been cleaning my house. I've been doing chores. I've been doing a number of things. I have not yet read. I need to read tonight. That's the thing that I need to do. But before I can actually sit down and read, which I may not read in here because it will be completely stripped out of these bookshelves behind me. And all of this stuff needs to sort of get moved to the center of the room so that I can paint in here. Well, first I've got to patch some holes in the walls before I paint, but hence the patch that's right there. But where have I been? I have been in the pit of despair. Basically, here's what happened. I recorded this video, and I may still put it out. I'm just needing to focus on something else because when I recorded the video, I had this idea for like some really cool, like cut in sort of like things that might come after it that have references to the things that I was talking about. And the task itself with the pace of my schedule seemed very daunting. So instead of just scaling it back and not putting those clips in or not doing something, else or staying with my social media, which has completely died off since this, all of it, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all of the social medias are just wasted for like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I don't know. I don't even know how long it's been since I've done a vlog. But I let the sort of internal critic that gets me in trouble all the time, where if I can't show up to the best of my abilities, I, for some reason, believe that it's best not to show up at all. Even though I rationally know that whatever I can possibly bring to it today is the best of my abilities on that day. I understand that that is a thing. I just don't believe it, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I need therapy. We all need therapy. But, so what am I doing? I'm sort of in a holding pattern on the book that I'm working on, at least the fantasy book that I'm working on, because I don't know what to do with one of these characters. So I've had this other book that I really don't need to plot at all because I know the plot literally from start to finish. I know the characters already. It's pseudo based on a true story. I just need to sit down and sort of like base outline this thing and go. I'm going to work on that because that's something that I can work on. That's something that I can do to put words on a page. And so that's what I'm going to be writing. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to work on the fantasy thing. I just, I think I overestimated how much I would be able to do in the smashing of the world with the characters from an old book. I just overestimated my ability to sort of like get that together sort of seamlessly. I'll get it together. It's just going to take me longer than my 6-month goal. And I want to have a book. I want to have a book at the end of this 6 months. So I'm going to write the book that I can write, which is sort of a big deal for me. That's a thing that I am not good at doing. I'm not good at saying, I'm incapable of doing this thing right now. Let me do what I can do. I am very much a kind of person who is like, I'll wait till I'm ready. I want this to be as good as it can possibly be. And I know that I'm going to be a better writer in a year. So I'll write it in a year. The problem with that is that if you're always waiting to be a better writer, you're never actually writing. And so I'm not going to wait. So what does that mean? What am I doing here? What am I working on? The thing that I'm going to be writing is going to be a sort of it's a little bit romance, not like Harlequin romance, but there's a very strong romance element to it. It's a little bit transgressional in certain ways. It's weird and quirky in some parts. It's a military story, and it's not quite a military story. It's a military story the same way that like Catcher in the Rye is a military story, or the way that I don't know the in between parts of Slaughterhouse Five are a military story. They're not. Um, but that's what I'm going to be working on. I'm going to be working on doing a lot of reading, and we're going to cover all of that here. And I'm going to be watching and reviewing House of the Dragon, which I need to get on and put together a thing for here shortly. But before I can do that, I got to move all this stuff out of the way. Um, yeah. One of the things that I'm going to be striving to do that I think is sort of important to do is I know that regardless of whether or not I ever publish, I will write long term. I will always be a storyteller throughout my life in whatever facet that means. If it means that I'm writing, if it means that I'm on YouTube, I will be a storyteller somewhere. I would prefer to be as a writer because I love books. Um, as you can see, I love books. There's another shelf over here. Soon I'm going to build shelves in. I love books. I love the aesthetic of books. I love reading books. I love getting lost in books. I love characters. It's ask anybody that knows me in person, and it really is all I want to talk about. With that in mind, I need to facilitate my long term goal of writing books by living a life which makes that possible. And so it includes things like, painting in here and, updating the decor of my life so that this is a space that I feel creative and engaged in and that I feel comfortable in and that it doesn't have bare white walls, which just drives me crazy. It means that I sort of take my day job pseudo seriously. That I apply myself there and complete the work that I need to complete. It means that I take my workouts seriously so that I can maintain the physical health that will allow me to do those things. Basically, it means living a holistic, good life so that I can do this for as long as I can foresee me doing this. Um, where does that leave me with things right now? I am good in the middle of my days, but the beginning and end I can tweak up a bit. So that's what I'm working on. I've just implemented a new schedule for myself. And the thing you should know if you're not good with schedules is that schedules are not something that you're not task mastering yourself with what to do. The schedule has to be tailored around the day you want to have, or you won't follow it in the first place. And so I have written the day that I'd like to have, but if it's not a day I can have, because I, as a person, spend too much time on TikTok, and so I need to account for that because it's obviously something that I want to do. It's something that I currently have, and then maybe as I nail in what is possible currently, I tweak it and move it and tailor it as I go over the next year to get to the point where it's a schedule I can follow and it's the day I want to have. So I'm working on that right now. I'm working on getting that done. I'm working on reestablishing any number of, like really good habits, which is my meal plans and my workouts and my sleep schedule and my work. The job that I do, because of the position that I have, I can sort of, I can't say come and go as I please, but I can tailor getting my work done around a schedule that sort of works for me. What that means a lot of the time is that I give myself these big long breaks, or I'm just a little maybe too forgiving with myself in letting myself slack off. And it feels like if I'm slacking off during work time, then what I'm really not doing is work. But the problem with that is that I end up doing the work. What I give up is this I give up is my reading time, or I give up the gym, or I give up my writing time. I need to recognize that's what I'm doing when I'm sort of slacking off at work and letting projects take longer than they should need to take. I just need to remember I'm defending my time outside of work. So I'm going to make that a priority. I sort of want to have an update on one thing in a week. So let's have an update on my morning. I want to wake up and take a walk, which isn't going to be possible for much longer. The place that I live in eventually does get cold, and the sun isn't out in the morning per se. It is still now, and I want to get up. I want to take a walk. I want to be outside. I want to take my dog and sort of give her the chance to get a little bit more physical activity going. Get her a little more training on the leash. She's actually still a puppy. I know that you like see her at my like rib cage height sometimes, but she's a Great Pyrenees. She's a puppy. Um, she is in fact not even 9 months old. Yikes, that's crazy. Um, so next week I will have an update on how my morning is going. I'm supposed to walk. I'm supposed to write, and there's a little like morning routine sort of thing in there where I'm supposed to, like meditate and take care of myself a little bit. Um, so those three things I just sort of want to nail over the next week, and we will see where I'm at. Maybe I'll need 2 weeks to get that right, but next week when I record this, I want to have an update for you on that. In terms of everything else, I'm reading like a fiend. Still not quite as fast as I'd like, but there are a number of things that I am working on getting through. A couple of fantasy things, a couple of not so fantasy things. I actually just finished The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which I'm stoked about. I cannot wait to review that for you guys next week. Sneak preview, it was phenomenal. I loved it. Um, yeah, it's probably one of the best books that I've read in the last 5 years. And I've read classics in that time too. I'm always reading classics. This is still probably one of the best books that I've read in the last 5 years. Um, yeah, it's a new beginning in the middle. Might be a good way for me to put that. Alas, I will let you all get back to your lives as I unload and move a bunch of books into a hallway and move the bookshelves out after them and then reshelve everything. 8 o'clock now. If I'm done by 10, that will be perfect. 2 hours to move all these books. I am going to headphones and Game of Thrones my way to victory here. So, thanks for stopping by, traveler. We will see you next time.